Hi everyone, this is Jeff Epstein with Citizens Media. You should know that because you're watching Citizens Media. I'm here with, we're on a bus, a SEPTA bus, a rented SEPTA bus, which is the local public transportation here in Philly. I'm from Philly. And I'm here on the bus with all the California delegates, and some of them are eating, so I'm not going to show them first, but I'm starting with this gentleman next to me who I just met. He is friends with the person who was the correspondent on our Bernie talk just a little while ago. She was the correspondent, Melissa, for that whole live stream. So right now I'd like to could you introduce yourself and tell us a little about yourself? And
my name is Daraka Larimore Hall. I'm from Santa Barbara, California. I'm the secretary of the California Democratic Party and a Bernie Sanders delegate.
And how was your experience with fundraising, the hotel? Your first? Have you been to Philly before?
I've been to Philly a couple times, just for fun, and I actually was here last year for a wedding. I liked the town a lot. I mean, the hotel is ridiculously expensive. It's $700 a night, and that was hard. So I fundraised from family and colleagues and to help at least offset the cost, and then obviously splitting the room with as many people as I can cram in there comfortably.
How many roommates do you have?
I got two.
And the room is like 2 double bed thing? Mm-hmm. You have 2 roommates, you said, so 3 people total?
Yeah, it's 3 of us.
All right, so $700.
And that's like not. I mean, comparatively, I know people with 5-6 people in a room with 2 beds.
Why not? $700 a night. I mean,
yeah, exactly.
So I'm from Philly, and I'm paying. Even though I'm from Philly, I live right across the river on Jersey. It's
right.
If there was no traffic, I could be there and home in 25 minutes. But I am staying at a hotel. It was required that I stay at a hotel, and I'm paying $469 a night, and that's ridiculously expensive for Philadelphia. Right. That's expensive for New York, and I'm not in the city proper. I'm not in Center City. I'm next to the airport. You're in Center City, but still, this is ridiculously expensive for New York.
Absolutely.
So I don't know how that's happening.
Well, how it happens is like anytime there's a convention, all of the hotels in the area jack their prices up because they it's like they can. It's the same reason a soda is $8 at a movie theater or whatever, right? But what's frustrating is that in whatever negotiations there were between the DNC and the hotels, it's just like a totally unacceptable, outrageous price.
So how did your fundraising go? Did you?
Okay, I'm still going to be out of pocket significantly, but definitely shielded the blow or cushioned the blow a little bit.
At what point did you realize that I can't do this by myself? I need roommates.
Well, right from the very beginning, as soon as I saw the cost, which was very early in the process. We knew what the cost of the hotel was before delegates were selected or elected, so I knew.
We didn't know we had to stay at the hotel. So
This isn't my first convention, so I knew that.
Yeah.
This is Melissa, our correspondent from before.
Hi.
For first-time delegates.
Yeah, I was a first-time delegate, and I didn't realize that we had to stay at the hotel, so I thought, okay, they estimate the cost like $4,000 to $6,000, and I thought, I'm a very experienced traveler, I'll find something way cheaper. I could keep this whole thing under $2,000, and that was just a pipe dream.
So do you have roommates?
Yeah, I have one roommate. We had another one, but he dropped out for whatever reason, so it's just the 2 of us.
So you are only halfway to your fundraising goal.
Yeah, I think I'm at 50%.
So you're spending 50% out of your pocket.
Yeah.
And this is considering you have a roommate.
Yeah, this is including a roommate. It's a great hotel. We're right in the middle.
$700 a night, it better.
Yeah, with proximity.
Well, I'll tell you, in 2012, the California delegation was at this just shithole of a place, and it was not $700, but it was still like $400 or $500 a night, and the place was like being refurbished. And they paused the refurbishment for the convention and packed us in, and then shut the hotel back down to finish. So stuff was
and charged you how
was
much?
Falling off.
And charged you how much?
I think it was about $500 a night.
And where was this?
This was in Charlotte,
North Carolina. Yeah. Okay, so we have a third person here. So Melissa's roommate. What's your name, sir?
My name is AJ Valenzuela, and I'm a delegate for Bernie Sanders.
Say it again.
AJ Valenzuela.
Okay. And so, what's your experience with not Bernie Sanders and his politics, but being a delegate in the fundraising and coming to the city and riding around and all this?
From my understanding, like about 4 years ago, this is my first time coming, but I knew that it was going to be a hefty toll to pay going out here. So actually, conveniently, this is actually my graduation present for me coming out here. I graduated from Santa Barbara, and my parents agreed to pay for my travel out here.
Wow. Yeah. So you didn't need any fundraising at all.
No, but I did fundraise for some other people though. Yeah, there was a young Latina named Noemi. I helped her fundraise some money.
Nice. So my fundraising goal was originally $3,000. For $69 a night plus $100 a day for food or whatever. And then I got 2 roommates, so I lowered my goal to $1,800, but not in the fundraiser, just in my mind. So I way exceeded it, and I ended up helping the delegates, which was
That's cool.
really exciting to be able to do that. So right now we're on the way to the Wells Fargo Center to the convention proper. We were just at the convention center, a place called the convention center, where there's secondary events happening. Yeah, it's really confusing. So I'm going to say this again. So the convention center is the name of a building at 11th and Arch, and secondary events for the DNC are happening there. But the DNC proper, is happening at the Wells Fargo Center, which is in South Philadelphia. So if I might ask, what other thoughts related to the experience, what's happened so far? Anything else you guys want to say?
Well, Jaraka here, he's part of the Cal Dems, the CDP. So I met him in Long Beach. He's been a real help in sort of introducing me to people, but also like having these conversations about like what's the future of Bernie's movement. Like we're all Bernie delegates, and we're all supporting the progressive movement. Like we want to see policy that reflects our values, because we talk a lot about Republicans being value voters, and I think this might be the first time since the New Deal that we've seen Democrats and progressives come out of the woodwork and say, hey, we're values voters too. I am an absolutist voter on the environment. I worked with the League of Conservation Voters, and we won't have any policy debates in the future if we don't have air to breathe. I think we're having an awakening of a values voters from the left, and I think we're going to see more and more people running for office with these values, since Bernie's delegates were half the party, and it's I don't know, Draka has a lot of thoughts.
Well, everything you said I liked.
So you were at the convention 8 years ago. 8 years
4
ago?
years ago.
4 years ago. So is this? I know we really haven't gotten in the thick of it yet, but is there any differences?
Well, it's completely different. 2012 was a re-elect for Obama, so everyone was an Obama delegate. It was just sort of a lot of rah-rah. Let's beat the Republicans. It was actually very interesting. It was a pretty progressive convention in terms of the messaging. It was a lot about jobs, the auto bailout, raising the minimum wage, gay marriage, things
so
that...
there wasn't much contention.
But it was not contention. Yeah,
because
exactly. There wasn't contention.
She had conceded before the convention.
No,
right?
I'm talking about 2012, the re-elect. So this wasn't even, there hadn't even been a primary.
Oh, right.
So it's just like, everybody together.
And what about any of the experience as far as just the logistics and...
Well, like I said, the hotel that they had us in last time was so bad that you're watching it.
All right,
you're gonna get feedback.
We're watching on someone else's phone this live stream, and it's freaking us out. Go ahead.
Because it's delayed.
When you're in a barber shop and you see the mirror across from you, and they see the mirror behind you, and
we're sitting in a movie theater and a scene plays out.
Yeah. Here we go. So here's a live stream of our live stream.
Yeah, that's enough of my face. I think.
Stop.
You're losing viewers. In terms of logistics, I think it's too early to say overall whether the logistics are better or worse than Charlotte, but certainly the hotel, as much as it's more expensive, it's an improvement. In 2012, 2 members of Congress got stuck in the elevator for half an hour. It was just terrible, total garbage.
And this was Deborah Wasserman Schultz's fault?
Hey man, whatever you want to blame her for, it's fine.
That's in the next WikiLeaks drop.
Exactly.
All right. Well, thank you everybody, and I don't know if you have any closing thoughts of what you want to say as far as what you're expecting to happen down at the Wells Fargo Center or in the upcoming days.
Oh, hi.
Or any reactions
I think I said this earlier. I'm not going to vote. I want to be positive. I want to fight for progressive policy. I don't think, we should stoop to the level of the do-nothing and terrible Republican Congress. They have a 13% approval rating, and I think it's because they're so negative. They're trying to block every bill that moves. I don't think we'll get anywhere with the fight that we want to have. And let's be real. Our goal is to change the national debate. We're bringing about issues that have not been talked about since the New Deal. We're bringing about issues that were never talked about ever. One huge thing in the future is going to be the issue of privacy. We're all on our phones right now, and I think that's something we're going to need to talk about. As a human rights activist and organizer, I'm all about having these conversations, and we're going to need a progressive Supreme Court. We're going to need progressive local lawmakers. We're going to need progressive mayors to help lead the city, because we're only going to see more unrest until we start addressing some of these issues. So we all need to gear up for this fight. I think it's a noble one, and I think we need to do it. In a positive way.
I have something a viewer is mentioning.
Yeah.
Julia Lowe says that Jane Sanders was caught on tape in the live stream. She has it on video. That we didn't hear it. I didn't hear it, but she said that she has it on video. That Jane said after Bernie was done, they don't know your name has been put in nomination, and that's the concern. Any responses to that?
What was the quote?
They don't know your name has been put in nomination. That's the concern. As if he's truly conceded. I'm taking it as they think that he's totally conceding.
No, he never once has said that he's conceded. I think for the next 2 days until we vote, are we voting today or tomorrow?
I think it's tomorrow, but
yeah, I think it's tomorrow.
That's not how I would read Jane Sanders' comment there. I think what she's saying is that that people in that room, a lot of whom weren't delegates, frankly, don't know that there's going to be a roll call vote, that the votes are going to be counted, etc. But I got to say, and I'm sure that this will start a flame war or whatever, but I think he's been incredibly clear that we should support Hillary Clinton and that he doesn't have the votes of this convention to be the nominee. And I think the sooner that we as progressive activists, grassroots activists, and Sanders delegates get our head around that and start thinking about what comes next, the better.
So I would say that he's not done anything that he hasn't promised. He said he was going to endorse Hillary Clinton.
Right.
Well, what was I going to say? He hasn't done anything that he hasn't promised. He went a little early. He did it a few weeks before the convention instead of at the convention, so that was unexpected. But people that are stuck on Bernie Sanders being president understandably feel betrayed. But he simply can't.
I don't see it. I'm sorry, but the guy said at the beginning of the process that he would support the nominee, that he was running as a Democrat, he's running in our primary, and that he would support the nominee.
And he said that we must support Hillary Clinton, get Hillary Clinton elected. He never said you must vote for Hillary Clinton. So it's
that's some hair splitting.
Well, that's actually what I feel. He did not tell his delegates you must vote for Hillary Clinton.
You mean at the convention?
Right now. He said you...
Wait. Vote for Hillary Clinton at convention or in November?
No. Convention.
Yeah, we're all voting for Bernie Sanders at convention. They're doing a roll call. That's the whole point. But what he was talking about was November, and that's what worries me.
Well, he never said the words, we must vote for Hillary Clinton. I know it's a distinction, but that is important.
Hillary Clinton and Tim Kaine. We must elect them. How do you elect people? You vote for them.
In November.
In November. Yes, of course.
I guess what you're saying.
We're all here. We are bound delegates.
All right.
We are representing voters in our state who voted for Sanders. We're going to come here and vote for Sanders in the roll call and have the record that 46% or whatever it is of the Democratic delegates, 1,900 people voted for a real break with the old politics.
Well, you clearly disagree with me, but what I think it is an important distinction to say that we must elect Hillary Clinton is very different than saying you must vote for Hillary Clinton. And because a lot of his supporters he recognizes that are not interested in voting for Hillary Clinton no matter what. And that is...
You think Bernie Sanders is going to vote for Hillary Clinton?
Yes.
What scares me though is I studied in Europe, I have a lot of friends in Europe, and they've all been talking to me about about this election because they see me post stuff about Bernie and they're like, listen, we don't like Hillary, but Trump is terrifying. I mean, you want to talk about fascists, you want to talk about racist, you want to talk about all the things that we saw leading up to Nazis in Germany. You know, like his rhetoric is that scary. Do I like Hillary Clinton as a politician? No. Do I want to vote for her? No. Do I want to make sure Trump doesn't get elected? Yes. We're in a terrible position, quite frankly, as progressives, because we really have been put in sort of a corner, and the only way out of it is to keep talking about these issues, to make sure that people are aware, listen, half the party and more than half the country supports what we're talking about. You know, like all of this convention, all of this election, you know, lots of discrepancies, lots of controversy. I mean, it's a pock on all of our houses. But at the end of the day, we're fighting for, Bernie said it himself, you know, this is a revolution. It's a political revolution. It's a people's revolution. Yesterday, I filmed 50,000 people in the streets marching for climate action.
Great.
You know, like this is the conversation we're now having, and it's because Bernie is running for president. You know,
I would rather see people just shrug that part of this off and be like, yeah, okay, Hillary Clinton's being nominated here, and be spending all of this opportunity of having thousands and thousands of great progressives here to talk about what comes next, building political power in our base, building power in our neighborhoods and our communities, and instead people are spending all this energy booing every time Hillary Clinton's name is mentioned, and it's just, it makes us look bitter. It makes us look weak. We're not weak. We're very strong.
Yeah.
Well, there are a lot of bitter people out there and that have entered the political revolution because of Bernie Sanders. And it is very hard for a lot of people to see the bigger picture of the revolution, and they need to, you know, he brought them out of political childhood.
Out of the woodwork.
He pulled and he educated them, and now it is time for, you know, he taught us how to fish, and he's starting to let us go, but some people are stuck on he needs to be president, which of course would make things a lot easier.
Well, I mean, I would love that.
And a lot
I voted
faster.
for him, of course.
But so we have a question. So can Bernie still run for president even though he endorsed Hillary? This is from Sharon. Yes, he can. He can go third party if he wants to. He's not going to. Do I know that for sure? No, of course I don't. But
Except that he said it over and over and over and over and over.
he said it over and over and again, and he's not someone to go against what he says. So, and he said we're going to elect Hillary Clinton, and if he goes third party, it's going to be very difficult to elect her because he's going to peel away so many votes.
And I agreed with what you said before, by the way. I mean, you're totally right. And I want to give people all the space they need and to develop and so forth. I'm just expressing, from my perspective, that I think it's making it harder. We're putting up a barrier to the goals that we want to reach by alienating ourselves and from Clinton supporters, where I think on the issues we have a majority at this convention and we have a majority of the Democratic base. And when people are being shouted down and booed all the time, it's kind of hard to have those conversations to create that majority.
So I want to suggest to you that you're expressing frustration between this distinction of we must get Hillary elected and you must vote for Hillary. And I would suggest to you that is an important distinction for some people. And it's hard for them to have this conflict of must continue
Maybe
the revolution.
You can explain it to me. Can you explain the distinction?
He's been saying like Bernie never goes back to his word, and I completely agree with that. You know, he has been truthful, upfront, and honest with everything he's done, and he also has never told people what to do. You know, I mean, your vote is your vote. Like, that's your bond, right? I mean, I'm Michelle Obama at this point. But where does your bond? But no, for real, like, it's. I don't think he's telling people who to vote for, but he's saying we cannot let Trump win. You know, like that's his message.
Okay, somebody
I'll
explain.
answer the question.
How do we keep Trump from winning without having more people vote for Hillary Clinton than Donald Trump?
All right, so
please explain that to me.
Well, I'm answering your previous question, which is the difference between we must get Hillary elected and you must vote for Hillary. It is an important thing to get your head around of why Hillary Clinton must be elected. Hillary Clinton, I'm not saying this, but just expressing what Bernie Sanders says, Hillary Clinton must be elected in order to defeat Donald Trump, in order to avoid the fear, in order to escape the horrible. But what it takes to do that is to vote for her. It is not the same thing. And for people to pull the lever for her is a very different and much more personal thing than Hillary must be elected. It is really up to the people. It is
scary. It's terrifying.
hold on. It is up for the people individually to come to the conclusion that in order to vote for Hillary, in order to avoid Trump, that they have to vote for her. If Bernie
it still
says,
seems like a distinction without a difference.
If Bernie says you must vote for her, then he is betraying that I would consider a betrayal.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I don't agree. I don't think it's a betrayal at all. I think he said, I'm entering the Democratic primary, I'm running for president, I will support the nominee. And he ran like hell.
If he said vote for her, that would, to me, would be a betrayal. But he hasn't done that, so.
Okay. Yeah, I'm sorry. It just feels like a lot of hairs being split.
Debate is. We can disagree as long as we're open-minded. It's all good. I'm not going to keep fighting for this distinction. I think it's an important one. You don't see it. That's good. So, all right. Well, thank you. What are you showing me?
So this is 538. Just released a new poll. You guys can see, but it's kind of terrifying. It has Donald Trump up by several points. So when
with how many candidates?
This is with 3 in the race. So it's the electoral map we're looking at.
Just Johnson, not Jill Stein.
Yeah, she's not polling high enough to show up on some of these.
Yeah, and also those numbers wouldn't get better with Jill Stein in the mix.
Yeah, they would get worse.
Of course.
So
describe this.
Right. Okay. So what we're looking at here, 538 is.
It's hard to keep it. Actually, you know what?
There you go.
Let me see if I can keep this still while you talk about
it. So it's a pretty great poll tracking website. It's what we're looking at here essentially. Now,
we're on a bus, so it's really hard to keep this still.
Sorry guys. So with polls, right, you have to be aware these are going to fluctuate. They're going to change a lot. The Republicans just had their convention, so Donald Trump is experiencing a post-convention bump. He just got all this press coverage, so
and WikiLeaks is hurting Hillary as well.
Right. Yeah. Oh yeah. All of this stuff with the DNC. So what we're looking at here, I mean,
if the election were held today, well, of course, Mark.
Right.
I know Mark. I can be a little smart ass with him.
Yeah. If the election were held today, this is what we're looking at. And this is why I think it's scary, and why when you guys are talking about, did he say vote for her or not? Like, at this point, we're all fighting to keep Trump from being president, and I know that's
so this
awful.
is 57 versus 43. If Hillary, Trump, and Johnson were in the race.
So that would be the electoral and popular vote. And I'm the first one to say, polls sometimes matter and don't. I knew Bernie was going to win Michigan when the polls said absolutely not, because this is one of those years in presidential politics where the people who are polled, likely voters, they're not the ones who change the course of the election. So in a race like Bernie's race, it's unlikely voters that push him over the top, and those people never are captured in polls.
Right.
So we have, a lot of people now who, I'm sorry, we can't let Trump win. That's.
Couldn't have said it better.
I don't want to vote for Hillary, and honestly, I'm kind of happy I live in California, where she's going to win the state. But
all right, so I want to ask you two things. Number one, you seem to be pretty strong. We must vote for Hillary in order to be.
No. I never said we have. Okay, this is
for yourself personally, right?
Yeah. No, I'm not going to vote for her. I mean.
I'm surprised based on everything you said just now and
Facebook, Twitter, internet, all of you. If you live in a swing state, I'm sorry, bite the bullet, fucking vote for Hillary. I'm sorry, do it, because on November 5th we're gonna show up and we're gonna have Trump president, and we're all gonna be like, shit, why didn't you vote?
Also, if you don't think that not voting for Hillary Clinton is gonna help. Okay, if you think voting for Hillary Clinton is going to help the United States, it's not. You must be coming from a position of privilege where you don't have to worry about getting deported or about not being able to re-enter the country because you're Muslim if Trump is president, or because you're a woman, you don't have to worry about your reproductive rights being charged. But I'm sorry, but it's just bad. It's just bad politics.
So you are voting for Hillary Clinton if she wins the nomination?
I'm voting today at the
No, I'm not talking about the convention. You're voting for Bernie at the convention.
I'm going to clarify right now. Right now at the convention, I am voting for Bernie Sanders But come November, I'm going to vote for the Democratic nominee. Whether it would be Hillary or Bernie, I'm going to vote for the Democratic nominee.
See that, and there is an important distinction. You are voting for the Democratic nominee. Will it likely be Hillary? Of course.
Yeah.
But that is an important distinction.
Sure. That's a good point.
That's the way he articulated then. Yeah.
I'm glad that you, because look, I don't see my vote as a pure expression of my political desire or opinion. I express my politics through my community activism and my party activism and my writing and my teaching and all of that. It's far more nuanced than something as simple as checking a box. But to me, my vote is just a raw exercise of power that helps decide.
Keep talking, I just want to show people the center while we're passing. Go ahead.
A vote is it's just a raw collective action that decides whether one person or another is going to get elected. And at the end of the day in November, either Donald Trump or Hillary Clinton is going to be president. And I'm going to do everything I can to make sure that it's not Donald Trump.
Yeah.
So what about you? So are you going to be definitely voting for Hillary Clinton? Or are you going to be voting for the Democratic nominee? Or
yeah, I'm going to vote for Hillary Clinton because she's going to be the Democratic nominee. But because she's the Democratic nominee, not because I'm in love with her.
So you are voting for the Democratic nominee?
Absolutely, and I will campaign for them, and I will knock on doors for them, and I will fundraise for them, and all of that.
And when she's elected, I will continue to put pressure on her to go more to the left.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I'll also hit the streets and criticize her openly as a party official, which I always get in trouble for.
Yeah, he's an
but I don't
elected,
care.
guys, he's an elected party official, and he's like the first to jump on when, things aren't above board. So, this is what we need is more discourse, and quite honestly, like AJ was saying, if you're not voting for the Democratic nominee, you are coming from a position of privilege. And that's what I was saying about if you're in a swing state.
What does that mean? If you don't vote for the Democratic nominee, you're voting for a position of position of privilege. What does that mean?
AJ said it best. You're not in fear of being deported.
So we're not as afraid of Trump because we are not minorities.
Right.
Essentially.
Well, we're not afraid of being. I don't want to lose my reproductive rights. I don't want to have put someone on the bench that's going to ban abortion.
You can't use a copier machine anymore. Oh, I see. Go ahead.
Sorry. It was a terrible joke.
Yeah, but I fooled you but the point is I fooled her for a second. And she had to think about it for a second before she realized how stupid it was.
Yeah. Right, okay. But that's what I was saying about being a swing state. I am not sure if I'm going to vote for Hillary, but I come from California. She's going to win my state. I'm not in fear, and I want them to know that I support plurality of parties. I think we need more than two parties in the United States. Like I mentioned, I lived in Ireland for 3 years, and they have 3 parties. And honestly, the 3 parties all kind of say the same thing. They had I won't get into Irish history, but one day I want to run for president in 2040 as a human rights candidate. I think we should have a purple party in the U.S., frankly, that encompasses Democrat, Republican, and Green, and all of the views. But we need to have a discourse about human rights, and I'm very passionate about that. So in California, I feel confident Hillary's going to win the state. We're not going to have Trump win California, and I want people to know that. It's okay. We need to expand our discourse.
Lori is saying, how the hell is she going to win California? She stole it. We're not talking about the primary anymore.
Yeah, we're talking about November. Sorry, guys. Yeah, we're gonna all go vote for Bernie right now at the convention. We're pulling in, so we probably got to sign off real soon.
Yeah, we're gonna sign off.
We can get back to this. I'm just babbling at this point.
Just we have one last question. If maybe you wouldn't mind answering from someone, and it's. He's not. I don't think he's going to. He said he's not going to, which means he's pretty much not going to. But if he ran for a third party, how would logistically it play out, and how would it likely play out?
Logistically, I think it would be.
Is Green on the ballot in every state?
No.
No, they're only on 48 states, I think.
Yeah, so it would be actually hard for him to qualify in very, very many states at this point.
Right, so hypothetically, he's going with Green. Hypothetically, I think Jill will be his VP.
And he's on the ballot in just a few states?
Yeah.
Well, no, answer however you think.
Because that's the reality.
Continue what you're saying.
Yeah, you asked what the logistics would be.
I think that would be very good for Trump.
That's why Trump keeps saying.
Which, yes, I think he thinks that for sure. Yeah. That's why, and same with the RNC. You had the RNC chair on talk show today all day talking about how horrible the party was, Democrats were to Bernie Sanders, as if he gives any shits about Bernie Sanders. Anyway,
all right. Well,
I don't think it works out well for us.
All right. Well, thank you,
Especially not for
everybody.
our issues.
Thank you, everybody. I really appreciate your time. So
you.
we're approaching
And bye to all the readers at home, or listeners at home, watchers, viewers,
Smellers.
smellers.
So we're at the convention center now. We're about to pull in all the security, all these gates, which are not normally here on both sides of the street. So actually, the show. So here we have the Wells Fargo Center. These gates. There's 2 layers of gates. The closest layer of gates, the ones without the vertical poles, is not permanent. That's temporary. And across the street here, we have FDR Park, or these right over there. We have 3 layers of gates between us and FDR Park. All these policemen, so all the protests, the events and the marches are in FDR Park across the street over there. So we are pulling out, so we're signing off. We'll be back.